Hi guys, it's me, Mr. Dan1268, otherwise known as Dan, and today what we're going to be doing is continuing on from the series that I have started, which I started with the original PlayStation, and today we're going to be going over my PS2 collection of games, consoles, and controllers. So yeah, let's go ahead and jump right on into that. This console is probably one of my favorite consoles of all time. It's the console I had growing up as a kid. So let's go ahead and check it out. Alright, so like the previous episode of this ongoing series, we start off with the controllers or the accessories. So what I do have here is the original PlayStation 2 controller, which is the black variant. I do have silver ones, however I am currently fixing them. When you do go to collect these PS2 controllers, what I would highly recommend you do is make sure you test them. The buttons do tend to wear out really quickly, and they're a bit of a pain to fix. So yeah, this is a generic black one. They are very much identical to the PS1 controllers, however, the face buttons are pressure sensitive. So that's the controller. The other thing I do have is memory cards. I've got two black ones, original, these are OEM memory cards. These things are a bane of your existence. If you ever want to play any game on the PS2, you do need a memory card to save a game, because trust me, there's nothing worse than getting halfway through your game and not being able to save. Trust me, it's the worst thing you could possibly have. Alright, so now that we've gone ahead and gone over controller, let's go ahead and go over the consoles. So I do currently own two Fat Boy PS2s. So the first one that we do have here is the stock standard black one. This is probably the most common PS2 you'll see out there other than the Slim. I do enjoy the original design. To be honest, I prefer it over the Slim. It's just got some character to it that, you know, I guess it could be a bit of subjective opinion, as this is one of my favorite consoles of all time and favorite console designs of all time. But yeah, so that's the black one. And the next one here that I do have is this awesome silver one, otherwise known as Platinum. This is probably my favorite console that I do have in my collection. Other than the PS1, I hold dearly to myself, as this is the one that, this is my first console that I had as a kid. Played the hell out of this. I played anything from like Crash Bandicoot Twin Insanity to WWF's Just Bring It to PS1 games to Buzz to Final Fantasy to Jak and Daxter, you name it, I played on this PS2. Alright, so now that we've gone ahead and gone over the consoles, let's go ahead and jump into the games. Let's go ahead. I've got quite a lot of games. That's why I kind of rushed through the console so we can go through that. Let's check them out. Alright, so like I just said before, let's go ahead and go over the games. Stacks. I've got stacks and another stack of PS2 games. So let's go ahead and go through those. I will have to rush through a couple of them, just because I don't want these videos to go on too long. They obviously will get longer and longer as the games get bigger and bigger. This is one of my biggest collections. I thought that I would be doing, what I'll be doing is basically having short episodes in between the long episodes, so that way you don't have these long dry videos that are so clumped together as one long one, then a short one, long one, and then in between them I'm going to have like tips and tricks on how to collect games and also how to preserve them and keep them in good condition. So yeah, let's go ahead and go over the game. So the first game that we do have here is one of the best, and that is Buzz, the Hollywood Quiz. These were like Buzz games, and what you'd have is this like controller. I can't exactly remember where they are at the moment. However, you'd have these controllers where they'd have all these buttons on the top of them, and you could answer questions like, what's Jack Black's greatest movie of all time? Come on, obviously it's Nacho Libre. Alright, so that's Buzz. I'm just going to go over these games real quick. I've got here Buzz Sport. I've got Buzz the Sports Quiz. Of course, I'm Australian, so sport is just second nature. The next one here I have is Buzz the Music Quiz, and that's it for the Buzz games, I believe. Yep, and we're going to go ahead and jump into the next couple of games here. So I have iToy Play 2. Now, as a kid, these games are so much fun, man. Like you ever look at a little webcam and you can have the most fun you'll ever have playing something as like so niche as a iToy game. That was so much fun, man. Like I remember there's one where you got all these like little karate dudes and they're on the side of your like screen. You gotta like flick them off and kick them and make sure they don't get on the screen. I had so much fun as a kid on this game. Next game I do have here, which is FIFA 08. The next two games that I do have here is The Sims and The Sims Busting Out. You know, they're The Sims. The next games that I have here is I have AFL 2004. Like I said in my previous video, I love me AFL and I love these old school AFL games, man. They're just so simple and so stupid, but it's so fun. They're broken, but I love them. Next one here that I have is probably one of the very rare-ish, not rare as in the game, however, it's one of the probably very few Sony published AFL games out there. I believe it was from 2005 to 2007-ish. They were actually published from Sony. It's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool thing. Alright, so now that we're over sports games, we're going to go over the couple of games that I do have that are either part of some serials or some hidden gems that I've got a part of this collection here, this big stack. So the first one I have here is Kingdom Hearts 2, Final Fantasy X, I got Mercenaries, Headhunter, I got Vex, I believe that's how it's pronounced it, Vex, V-E-X-X, Vex. Oh man, this is one of my favorite games as a kid. Yu-Gi-Oh! What a great game. I love Yu-Gi-Oh! I used to collect the cards, man. I watched the movie. I used to watch the anime as a kid. This game, man, if you had Exodia, man, you're the cream of the crop, man. Next game here, God of War. I love God of War. It's just such a, like, you know, hacking and slashing and killing gods. The best way to play any God of War. Just put some damn thrash metal, some like Slayer in the background and just start. Oh, it's just such a great night. This and a bit of whiskey. Great night. Another game that I have here is Socal US Navy SEALs. Next game I got here is Tekken 5. I got another game. I got a Mega Drive collections. Next one I got here is Metal Slug 5. I love these kind of like shoot 'em ups. They're good fun. I believe it's a shoot 'em up. It's a side-scrolling shoot 'em up. It's a good game. Next one here I've got is State of Emergency, I believe. Yeah, this is one of the ones that's actually made by Rockstar. Fun fact. Is Superman Shadow of Apocalypse. Next one that I got here is SpongeBob SquarePants Revenge of the Flying Dutchman. Oh man, I used to love this game as a kid. It's a bit shit. The better one is Battle for Bikini Bottom, which I did stream. And I love that game. Next one that I have here, which we are currently streaming, is Futurama the game. This game is so much fun. Definitely aged in some ways. But this game is going for quite a decent penny because it's known as a hidden or an unofficial episode of Futurama because it's got the cutscenes in the game equal up to being enough to be one full-length episode. The next game that I do have here is The Simpsons Road Rage. I got this when I got my PS2 for Christmas. Played the hell out of this game. I loved it as a kid. However, what I always wanted to do is be able to get out of the car. And guess what? They did! With the greatest game, second greatest game of all time on the PS2 is Simpsons Hit and Run. Love this game. Such a nostalgic game. It takes you back in time to when The Simpsons was great. The comedy in this is so much fun. The characters, the references, everything in this game. If you have a PS2 or have an emulator, I highly recommend you do play this game. So the next two that I do have here is I have Jak and Daxter, the first one. Jak 3. I got Die Hard. I've got Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. Now these are different to the PS1 games. They're actually not as fun. The graphics are better, but the gameplay isn't as fun. Next one here is Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. I actually don't mind this one. The second one's actually pretty good fun, to be honest with you. The Harry Potter games up until they got on the 360 after Order of the Phoenix were actually good fun. The next game that I do have here is Spider-Man on the PS2. This is the one based off the first movie. I love the movie. The game has definitely aged like a very, very, very old milk. The next game that I got here is Hulk. Next game I got here is Percy Jackson's King Kong. Next games that I got here is the Spyro games. I do actually have Spyro games. I don't have them on the PS1 yet. So the first one here that I have is Spyro Enter the Dragonfly, Spyro A Hero's Tale, and the last one I got here is The Legend of Spyro A New Beginning. This game was actually catching quite a big penny quite some years back. The 360 version of this. I do believe might have been one of the last. I think this was the last Spyro game released until they released the remastered versions. Next game that I got here is Crash Bandicoot Twinsanity. If you haven't played this game, do yourself a favor, play it. It's good fun. It's like one of the most fun Crash Bandicoot games you will ever play. This is definitely going to be live streamed. Not sure when, but it definitely is coming around the corner. Next one that I got here is Crash Nitro Kart. As a kid, I thought this game was good fun. Not gonna lie, I like the whole you could drive up like walls and stuff, and you like magnetized to the you go up. It's kind of weird to explain, but I don't mind it. Definitely. The next one here that I have is Ratchet & Clank 3 Up Your Arsenal. Another good game. All right, so the next game that I do have here is Canis Cane's Edit, otherwise known as Bully on the other side of the world. Another one that I have here is my third favorite game on the PS2, and that's Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. What a game! This is the best. This is the best Grand Theft Auto out there. From the interactivity you can do with it, the storyline, the soundtrack, and the good thing about the PS2 version. And the original Xbox version is they haven't neutered the soundtrack or the radio. If you go ahead and download the Steam version or the Xbox One version, it does actually have an altered radio track due to licensing, which fucking sucks. Next one that I have here is another one of this is probably the best Grand Theft Auto radio in a game. That's Grand Theft Auto Vice City. This has the best radio. Don't care what you say. It's got those good classic 80s hits. But yeah, this is probably the best radio songs, I guess you could say, soundtracks in a game. Next one that I got here is Grand Theft Auto 3. I used to play this game as a kid. I used to have a copied version of this game and just go around murdering people until I actually became older and played through the story, and it's actually not too bad. You have a silent protagonist. Alright, just gonna move the stack of games. Oh. Alright, on to the last stack here, which is a pretty decent one, and these are my favorite games, and if you watch the first one, you'll know what it is. That's pro wrestling games. So, the first one here that I'm going to show you is WWE All-Stars on the PS2. This game is a blast, man. I highly recommend getting it. But I'd recommend either getting it on the 360 or the PS3. Just for if you like good graphics, I'd highly recommend getting it on one of them. Next one that I got here is WWE SmackDown vs. Raw 2009 featuring ECW. The next one I got here is SmackDown vs. Raw 2008, the last ever WWE game to actually have a GM mode in it. Except the roster got neutered. The next one that I got here is my favorite in the SmackDown vs. Raw line of games. And that is SmackDown vs. Raw 2006. Unfortunately, with these metal cases, is they do tend to actually start to rust, which kind of sucks because I love these kind of design of steel books, and I did have to dig to find one of these when I was a kid. Yeah, good game. Now, my favorite game of all time on the PS2, drumroll please, is none other than WWE SmackDown. Here comes the pain. This is the GOAT, the greatest of all time, the best pro wrestling game of all time. I don't care about you N64 fanboys. Sorry, No Mercy fanboys. This game is so good. From the gameplay is good, the roster's good, the freedom of being able to go backstage, the elimination chamber in there is the first one, elimination chamber. I don't know, it's just good. It's good fun. The best thing you could do was go backstage and you steal the Undertaker's. You're rude, man. Why do I nobody likes? And the next game that I do have here is probably And the next game that we do have here is my favorite game of all time on the PS2, and that is WWE SmackDown. And the next game that we do have here is probably my favorite game of all time, the GOAT of the PS2, and that is WWE. And the next game that we do have here is my favorite game of all time, and that is, drum rolls please, WWE SmackDown Here Comes the Pain. It's my favorite game of all time. I played the absolute living heck out of this game. I believe this is one of the first PS2 WWE games to have Rey Mysterio in it. It's got Thugonomics John Cena. It's got anyone from like Triple H, of course Brock Lesnar, The Rock, Kurt Angle, Sergeant Slaughter. You got Taker. And like the amount of fun you could have going backstage, and you could steal Undertaker's bike and like grab someone by the neck and like throw them into stuff. You could go to Times Square and jump off a plane, jump off a helicopter onto somebody. This game is like one of the best games. I highly recommend playing this game if you're a wrestling fan and you have a PS2. Next game that I got here is WWE Shut Your Mouth. The next one that I got here is the first in the line of the SmackDown vs. Raw series. WWF. This is the last ever WWF game to ever be released. This is WWF SmackDown Just Bring It. The last ever one before they changed to WWE. And the last wrestling game that I do have here is from another company, and that is TNA Impact. And on to the last selection of games that I do have here. The first one I'm going to do is SXX. And on to the last couple of games, my favorite, I guess extreme sports games. So my favorite genre of all time is the Tony Hawk series. So I got Tony Hawk American Wasteland, Tony Hawk's Underground, Tony Hawk Proving Ground, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 4, and the best one in the series, in my opinion, is Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3. Alright, so I hope you guys enjoyed that video today, going through my PS2 collection. So yeah, if you guys did like what you've seen, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. If you did like the video, like the video. If you disliked it, go ahead and hit the dislike button. And let me know what one of your favorite experiences or memories from the PS2, whether it was you were a kid or a teenager at the time. I don't really care. Tell me what your favorite experience was. I'd love to hear that from you guys. And until next time, I'll see you guys on the next video on this ongoing series. Catch you there. This is me, Mr. Dan1268, otherwise known as the Dan, signing out. Peace.